Today we're really lucky to have a special guest, Will Fennell, and he is a skincare expert and he's going to teach us everything we need to know step by step on how to keep our skin looking amazing after the age of 50. Will's also a skin therapist and he's been passionate about this since he was 15 years old.
I opened my first salon when I just finished beauty school, and so I've had that salon now for about 24 years, and that sort of just evolved then. I loved helping people, so then I started writing for a small magazine and a newspaper, and then that evolved into being the grooming guy on Aussie Queer Eye, and then a television show called 10 Years Younger in 10 Days.
And you do training as well?
Yeah, the product line that I work with and that I've loved my whole life is a line from Germany called Biodroga. Okay. And my relationship with them has also spanned 20 years. And now I work for them all around the world as one of their trainers.
What is it that you can teach all of us ladies who are in our 50s, going through menopause and trying to work out what it is to do with our skin? What's your expert advice?
I think you really need to realise that at this age, at this wonderful age, that the skin has changed.
It's changed.
So
definitely.
The structure of the skin has changed, the amount of oil it's producing has changed, so therefore it's losing more moisture. So you really need to treat it differently than you did in your 30s and 40s. Looking at it in a way that, you really have to start treating it gently, but you still need to use powerful anti-aging ingredients. So sometimes those two things don't go together.
Yeah, because we think that we're getting older, we need to go harder.
And when you're dealing with, post-menopausal skins, they become quite thin. Okay. So they become thin, they become more crepey. Yep. So there's a lack of density to the skin, and then that of course is causing all the moisture loss and lack of oil, so the skin isn't able then to help itself. Okay. So you just need to be able to provide ingredients the skin would normally naturally have on the surface or inside the skin. Okay. So it can actually heal and repair and regenerate itself from the inside as well.
Okay, so is that something that we can all do with everyone's different stage they're at? Because some women have a lot more wrinkles or a lot more dryness than others. So does this work for everybody?
I think
this principle?
No, absolutely. I think, my philosophy is to keep things very, very simple. So correcting the skin, using active ingredients is very important. I think the most important thing you can do is maintaining the barrier of the skin. Okay. So make sure that the skin has enough oil and moisture to protect itself. Then also feeding it ingredients like vitamin A and vitamin C and E and peptides. Okay. But if you can maintain the barrier in the skin, and that's all skin types, from oily to dry, maintaining that barrier, making sure the skin is happy. I say if your skin is happy, it can help itself.
Okay, so can you explain to us what's the barrier and how do we look after it and how do we know if it's not okay?
Yeah, so first of all, knowing it's not okay, the skin will tell you. Okay. So if your skin is itchy, if it's red, dry, irritated, if it's not radiant, it's not happy. Okay. So the skin will actually tell you. You can look in the mirror. You can see straight away. You can look in the mirror and say, okay, my skin doesn't look good and it's not happy. Okay. So straight away your skin will tell you. So how you can help that is, as I said, is making sure that you are providing enough oil and moisture. Okay. So oil and moisture comes from your moisturizing cream. Okay. So making sure you have a great barrier cream. They actually did a lot of research to show that just daily use of a sunscreen during the day and a good barrier cream at night was where the most powerful anti-aging came from.
Is that right?
Yes, it wasn't. It wasn't the over a long period of time. So consistently using sunscreen to protect us from the sun and a really good barrier cream, and the skin, as I said, the skin is an amazing organ. It can actually heal and repair itself if we just make sure that barrier is intact.
Okay, so if the ladies are thinking like there's nowhere to go and they've gone too far, a barrier cream.
Yeah, start with the barrier cream.
Start with that.
I think, in our industry.
That's good.
Yeah, in our industry right now, we have lots of amazing treatments and lots of amazing ingredients, and they are definitely the second step. But the first step, and I get a lot of clients come into our salon and they want now. They want their skin to look amazing.
We want now.
Absolutely.
We want now.
They come in and they say, I want a peel, I want needling. And I'm like, okay, stop.
Okay.
What we need to do is we need to repair the barrier of the skin. And then the next stage is introducing our actives, introducing skin needling and laser. There's a place for that. And especially there's a place for that in 50 plus skins. But that is the second stage. The first stage is making sure that your skin is happy first. It's very, very easy to get caught up in the excitement of wanting things to change straight away. Yep. But I guarantee you have these things done. And the first thing you see in your skin is reaction and irritation.
Okay, so because we're disrupting the barrier.
Yep.
So our number one job over the age of 50 is to look after our barrier.
Absolutely, because...
And stop destroying
it.
With all these things that we keep trying.
Over 50, your natural barrier will also be reduced because you're not producing as much oil in the skin. So you're losing more moisture to the surface. So the actual barrier in itself becomes less and less and less as we get older.
So if we put a barrier cream on at night, does that stop the moisture coming out? It's like... locking it in.
Absolutely.
Is that what happens?
We often think that we lose the most moisture from the skin during the day, but we actually have the most transepidermal loss, which is moisture loss from the outside layers of the skin while we sleep. So during the evening is a very important time that we hydrate the skin and then lock that in with a barrier cream.
Perfect. That's so good to know. So what's a product that you would recommend that's something... Can it be any product? Does it have to have a certain consistency? Does it have other ingredients?
Yeah.
What do we use?
Well, when you're looking for creams, in barrier type creams, you look for moisture creams. So creams that are really focusing and dealing on dehydration and moisture loss. And also, ingredients like hyaluronic acid, ceramides, squalene, these and oils, precious oils. So the mix of these ingredients is very similar to what we have on the surface of the skin. So you want a product that basically mimics that oil or that protection that the skin's naturally producing. So we have this barrier naturally.
Yeah.
So, but we know hot showers, rubbing our face, using products we should do, it destroys that. So what we want to do is actually put an artificial barrier, but there's very similar to our natural barrier on the surface, and then happy skin.
That's awesome because...
And it's so simple. It's not a complicated...
It's not complicated because I would have thought do all the other things first to get rid of all the stuff on top.
Yeah.
But no.
No. I mean, I think the simple approach to skincare is the best. There's two words to skincare: simple and consistent.
Simple and consistent.
Yes. When you overcomplicate things, skin gets very irritated. And as soon as you have irritated skin, you have micro-inflammation or small inflammation in the skin, and that is actually aging. So keep it simple. And like a gym routine, you can build it up. I know if I take time off the gym and then I go and I do a huge arm workout and the next day my muscles are torn and it's sore. Your skin is the same. So start really slowly and you can definitely build it up. I could probably use far more actives than someone who has not used them before and have no problem.
So if you haven't used all the active ingredients before, you don't need to start now. You start getting something really serious, moisturising on your skin at night first.
A good skin therapist will actually get you on a very simple routine first.
And what would that be?
And that would be 3 steps if you wanted to do 3 steps. Cleaning the skin. I love cleansing oils. I think, cleansing oil cleans the skin beautifully without drying the skin. People think, an oil, but oil removes makeup beautifully. Oil removes oil. And it completely cleans the skin without destroying any of the protective barrier. So a cleansing oil is perfect. And then if you're going to have a serum at the beginning of your routine, morning and evening, is work with hydrating serums. High and low molecular hyaluronic acid, really moisturizing, and then a barrier cream. Okay, as first step.
So just cleanse, hyaluronic, and barrier.
And barrier as your first step. So that is your intro. That's your first month or two, getting the skin really prepared, and then you can start introducing vitamin C, vitamin A, powerful peptides, and the acids. Yes.
Okay, so for ladies who are just getting started to look after their skin, it's step 1, oil cleanse, step 2, hyaluronic acid, step 3, barrier cream.
Perfect.
Morning and night.
Yeah, and a sunscreen. And a sunscreen during the day. And a sunscreen. Yep.
After they've done that for a couple of months, they then can introduce.
Absolutely.
So morning, what would be the steps in the morning?
So in the morning, cleanse always. I like to prep my skin when I'm treating them and when I'm having my products, my own routine at home.
Yep.
I always prep my skin, and then during the day I use vitamin C. Okay. Vitamin C, ascorbic acid, in a hyaluronic acid with hyaluronic acid would be my second.
So those two ingredients combined,
perfect together,
or separate?
No, combine in one serum, and they combine really beautifully together. And then your barrier cream. Vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant.
Yeah.
It brightens the skin, so you need to look for a stable form of vitamin C, and it's your second step, and then barrier cream or barrier cream and sunscreen.
Okay. And this is stage 2, and what do we do stage 2 at night? And
then in the evening, again, you need to cleanse your skin with an oil cleanser, or if you want a cleansing fluid, but and sort of mature skins, I would stay away from anything that foams, because you don't want to be you don't want to be removing any of those precious oils that your skin already normally has.
Okay.
Some people have very oily skin, and their natural instinct is to foam and remove it, because
that feels good when you.
It
feels good.
I had acne growing up, so I still do that squeak. If it's squeak,
I love the squeak.
If it's,
is that bad? Is it?
Skin should not squeak.
Oops.
My squeak, skin should not squeak.
Really?
So a cleansing oil or a really gentle cleansing fluid or a cleansing water, but stay away from things that foam. Okay,
I'm guilty of that because I like the feeling of it. But I know I've heard about the oils, so I'll take your advice on that.
Once you start working with a cleansing oil, you won't want to stop.
Okay.
And then, second step, in this phase that you're in, would be working with serums that have vitamin A.
Right.
And vitamin A helps the skin cells to function properly.
Okay.
So vitamin A, again, vitamin C, and vitamin E, and those three work very well together. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant as well, and works very well with A, C, and E, and they tend to recharge each other and work.
The three of them together work better than one.
A, C, and E always work better together.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
As an antioxidant.
As an antioxidant. Okay.
And then peptides. And peptides are like, if you can imagine, personal trainers for the skin. So what these little personal trainers do is we have these amazing cells in our skin that produce collagen. And collagen is what fills out the skin. When we're 20.
Love that. We do filling out.
When we're 20 and we have all this collagen, which we take for granted when we're that age.
We do.
But they produce collagen and they produce elastin. And what peptides do, they're like little personal trainers that say, produce collagen, produce elastin. And so they make you produce more. They're man-made ingredients, wonderful ingredients. They're like, I love them. I'm crazy for peptides in skincare, but they work. They really work. So they're my main ingredients, A, C, E, and the peptides. And then you have the acids as well. Okay, so alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acids.
Okay.
So initially, I'd go with that routine.
So we're at stage 2. We wouldn't be using the acids.
No. There's no need to. There's no need to go straight. I mean, the thing is, as I said, if you keep things simple, you could then introduce. That's your daily routine. Then you introduce, and then you finish with the barrier.
Okay.
Okay.
Always finish with the barrier.
Always finish with the barrier, and then in this part of the program, you could introduce a once a week AHA exfoliant mask.
Okay.
Not daily.
Once a week.
I don't think. Yes, I think that if you're going to be using all those actives every day, you don't necessarily have to be using acids every day.
Okay.
There was a real acid revolution where people were over exfoliating, and I actually say to a lot of my clients, you are an over exfoliator. Because that there's this idea, I just want to remove as much dead skin cells as possible. There is no need to do that.
And that's encouraged a lot, I think, on YouTube.
Oh, no.
try all this.
And people are buying, but there are certain brands that I think are a bit naughty because they are really saying to people, home peels.
Yeah.
And I mean, and these peels don't necessarily or shouldn't necessarily be in the hands of people
who don't know what
home.
they're doing.
So we, in the brand I work with, Biodroga, we have a great, it's a 10-minute, like an AHA mask.
Okay.
You pop it on and then you leave it for 5 to 7 minutes, massage it in a little bit with water and then rinse it off, and once a week.
Once a week.
That's all you do.
If you were to use a product like that 3 or 4 times a week, is that just going to upset the barrier and make you drier?
So if
is that what would happen?
If you could imagine your skin is like a garden. So if you came along, if you think about it, if you came along with a fire blower and blew away all of the grass and all of the plants and it was bare and burnt.
Yep.
That is what acids do, is by nature they burn the surface of the skin. They burn. If you were to do that 3 times a week, 4 times a week, that garden will never repair.
It doesn't have
it
the
will
time
never
to repair.
recuperate.
That makes
It will
so much
never
sense.
recuperate.
Yeah.
If you did it once, you would see, if you gave them it water and energy and some fertilizer, the plants would grow back. Okay. Just like it's like a bushfire going through the bush.
Yeah.
Eventually it will regenerate. But if another fire goes through, it never gets a chance to.
Many of us could be actually doing too much.
Too much.
And you're saying keep it very simple.
I see it all the time. A lot of clients come in to see us, and the thing is that I can see straight away that too much is happening. Okay. And you get a lot of reactions through the nose area. They start to get visible capillaries.
Okay. A lot of people talk about the capillaries.
They've got dryness, and a lot of this comes from barrier impairment through the wrong use of products.
Okay, that's so good to know, because I think I'm guilty of that.
Well, no, I'm sorry.
I don't think I know.
No. So am I. I mean, I can. Very often, my business partner will say to me, "Have you been trialing products?" Because I trial a lot of products, and if I do the different product, 3 or 4 nights in a row, my skin is not happy. Okay. You can see that it's not happy. Yeah.
When you get those little red capillaries, can you get rid of those?
Absolutely.
They do repair, but it's just an indication that you've done too much and you've got to slow down.
Well, with little capillaries, basically what's happened is the blood has rushed into them. They have expanded but not constricted. Okay, so they're what we call permanently dilated. Okay. And then they become visible to the eye. It's a normal thing for the capillaries to expand, to dilate.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But what we want them then to do is to constrict. Okay. And we can actually, with skincare, we can make sure they do that job.
All right. All right.
With barrier repairment and that action, it all comes down to the health of the skin. Yep. If the skin's health is intact, it will naturally aid that. It knows
what to do.
Absolutely. It will naturally aid that process.
And then going back to what you said right at the beginning is keep it very, very simple. Yeah. So, Will, I guess my question to finish everything up is, how do we know what products to choose? And how are we going to just go out and find the right thing? Because many of us are doing the wrong thing. Mm.
I think that the first thing to understand is that skin doesn't understand anything to do with brand names. So skin doesn't know if you're using A, B or C. Yep. And if A company is telling you have to use all our products because your skin knows this, then they're not telling you the truth.
Yeah, that's really good to know.
The only thing skin understands is ingredients.
Okay.
So you just need to know what to look for. And if you look on the back of your box, you'll see the list of ingredients. Right. By law, it has to be there. Yes. And it will be listed from the most to the least.
Okay.
So with skincare, it comes down to how the skincare is made and how we get those ingredients into the skin. Because anyone can take all those ingredients, stir it and put it onto you. Yep. But whether or not you can get those ingredients into where they're supposed to be is another thing.
That's the
good skincare will get it in.
If I can get a list of ingredients and I can just put them up so that everybody can see. So when they're doing their own shopping
Absolutely.
and research, they can know what ingredients to use, and then they can start with step 1 and then step 2 skincare, and then go on to the step 3.
I'll write you a list of ingredients.
That would be so good. And then I can
I'll write a list of my top 10 favourite ingredients.
Okay.
And if you were to look for these 10 ingredients in your skincare, then you really can't go wrong.
Okay, that's really good. That's really helpful. My confusion, and I think a lot of people's confusion, is we think we're getting older, so we've got to go so hard to get rid of it all. But okay, you've taught me a lot today.
You have beautiful skin. I
And
can
so
say
do
that.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Will.
It was a
I
pleasure.
really appreciate it, and thank you for teaching all of us something a little bit more about skincare.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks everyone for watching, and please give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and share if you've got any friends who want to hear what Will's got to say, and we're really lucky to have had that from him. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful week.